This is IGN. A mountain climbing game that's both challenging and rewarding. This is your IGN review of Cairn by Will Borger. In 1978, Reinhold Messner and Peter Habeler did something that both scientists and other mountaineers considered impossible. They climbed Mount Everest without the use of supplemental oxygen. After reaching the summit, they split up for the descent, and it took Messner nearly 2 hours to reach base camp. When he did arrive, he was suffering from snow blindness. Later, a reporter asked him why he went up there knowing he could have so easily died. Messner, who would return to complete the first solo ascent of Everest 2 years later, also without supplemental oxygen, responded, "I didn't go up there to die. I went up there to live." It's a sentiment that would resonate with Ava, the protagonist of Cairn. "All I ever wanted was to touch eternity for an instant," she tells us at the outset, her eyes to the stars, to reach one of those rare moments of bliss where everything seems in its place and you feel you're part of a whole. But her mountain isn't Everest, it's Kami, a fictional peak no one has ever summited, and she is determined to be the first. Cairn is her story, and like both the mountain she's challenging and the climb itself, it is an incredible one. Cairn is a game about the climb, about choosing the right route up the mountain, finding the right handhold, taking a chance on the outcropping that seems slightly out of reach, pulling yourself up to a ledge just before your strength fails. Your path to Kami's summit is up to you, and you control each of Ava's limbs independently, with some optional assistance on by default. Each part of the climb is yours. The summit is the goal, but it is enough to make it to the next bivouac, a tent in which you can sleep, to retape your fingers, cook food, and repair pitons damaged in the climb. There are meters in Cairn that track Ava's temperature, hunger, hydration level, and overall health, and you'll need to manage each one if you want to survive. Cairn holds you accountable for your choices. If you don't feed Ava, she will be weaker and climbing will be harder, but it's rarely overly punishing, and managing your limited resources based on what Kami asks of you is both challenging and rewarding. What doesn't have a meter is Ava's stamina, how strong her grip is at the moment, or how well she's maintaining the position you've taken. For that, you'll have to watch her. The way her arms and legs tremble on an unstable hold, the way she breathes, how she whimpers and winces as she's about to lose her grip. These tells work great, but they can be subtle, especially at first, and you have to pay attention until you learn what to look for and how to position Ava properly as she moves up the mountain. Ava is incredibly strong, but she's also human. She cannot hold on to smooth rock for long, nor scurry up a sheer cliff through sheer force of will. Shaking out a tired limb and refocusing while on a semi-stable hold will buy you more time, but you cannot scale all of Kami that way. Climbing Kami is exhilarating, and I often found myself gazing up at the path before me, wondering how I would manage it, only to look down and realize I had a short time later. There is joy in planning out a route, in securing a piton at the last second before Ava falls, in finding the right handhold or wedging Ava's feet into a crevice that unlocks a path that seemed impassable, in chalking up and daring to persist a difficult section in the rain instead of waiting it out on a belay, in seeing the path you chart in your head becoming the route you've taken, in finally pulling yourself onto a ledge after a particularly difficult climb when the night is falling and your vision is failing and Ava is dehydrated and hungry and tired, in beating the mountain through sheer, dogged determination. The act of climbing doesn't change much throughout Cairn's runtime. My playthrough took me 19 hours, but I was very thorough. And occasionally, Ava's limbs may spider in strange directions or she may fall through the mountain, but I was so invested it hardly mattered. Cairn never gives us the whole story. Everything comes in pieces, in hints, in what's left unsaid, and in small comments like the one she makes to Marco when he mentions her father, himself a climber, who put Ava on her first climbing wall when she was 3 years old. "Great guy," Marco says, impressed. "So they tell me," she responds. Like the mountain itself, Ava is complicated, complex, imperfect, and like the mountain, she is incredible. How I felt about her changed as I climbed, but I always understood her. As long as she faced Kami, so would I. At the end of Cairn, Ava must make a choice about who she is, what she's willing to sacrifice, and how the experience of climbing Kami changed her. It is a remarkable fusion of gameplay and storytelling, of everything you've seen and done on the mountain. Each choice leads to a different ending. Neither is wrong. I've seen both paths, and in either case, the last couple of hours of Cairn are something I will remember for a very long time. Cairn would mean nothing without the journey, without the climb, without the moments where I faced everything Kami had to throw at me, from sheer cliffs to bad weather to climbing at night. Each time I was close to the top, I discovered the peak was farther off, and each time I would tape up Ava's hands, cook whatever I had, and keep going. I knew what she could handle, what she needed, how strong her grip would be, where I could take my chances. My reward was always something wondrous, and by the end, I was as attuned to Ava's body as my own. But what I'll remember is the story of the mountain and the people on it. I'll remember the climb. I'll remember Ava. Kami asks Ava 2 questions. Who are you? Why are you here? Her answers are simple. I'm a climber. I came here to live. And through her, so could I. Cairn's IGN score? A solid 9 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest updates on Cairn, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.